Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. This is a campground review of the Yogi Bear Jellystone Park in Mexico, New York. Yes, I actually stayed there just a few days ago, last week. There's a lot to cover with this park. I think you're going to be surprised. I was. So let's get into it. Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time watching, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below to continue to follow my adventures. But today is a campground review of the Yogi Bear Jellystone Park in Mexico, New York. And you're probably wondering, you went to the Jellystone Park? Yes, I did. Each year our family gets together from around the state. We pick a campground, we go there, and we get all together with our campers for a long weekend. We bring the nieces, the nephews, the grandkids. A good time is held by all. And so that's what took me to Yogi Bear Campground. I will say, when I made my reservation, I was a little apprehensive going here because they played 50 questions with me about Jax. They were really worried that Jax was going to be a dangerous dog. I can understand their concerns over that, but once they met Jax, they called him a good mannered dog and everything was good. But anyways, I score my campgrounds in 5 different categories: inner roads and sites, facilities, amenities, staffing, and price point. I think there was a fly in the lens. Alright, it's gone. So I give each category a 0 through 10, 10 being the best. I've never handed out a 10, but I may come close in this review. So anyways, let's get to it. Inner roads and sites. When you first pull into Yogi Bear, you have Yogi Bear waving you as you're coming in. You check in. They have a great store there, and the road in is paved until you get down by the river. It turns to stone. It's 1-lane road. So, but you can see to the other end. So if there's another camper coming at you, you can take a side road to get so you guys don't meet. There are areas where two campers, if they meet, can probably pass each other, but once they get full with vehicles and campers, it might be hard to do that. The roads are in good shape, but they are narrow. Our site was level from tire to tire, but from nose to tail, we had to make some correction. Not a lot. It was easy to level the site. Our site was fully grassed, which Jax loved, just laying in the grass all day long. So inner roads and sites are very good. Our site was in very good condition. A lot of the sites there looked easy to get into, easy to get out of. So I gave inner roads and sites at Jellystone Park an 8.0. Facilities. The bathroom facilities and the shower facilities are 1. Each room has a toilet, a sink, a shower, and guess what? Bench and 4 hooks. That is brownie points in my book. And they also were lacking in one area. Once you get enough showers in there, it seemed like the ventilation system could not keep up. So you walk in and it's like, whoa, it's just the hot, humid from the shower is still in there. And so I think the ventilation system needs to be upgraded, or each room needs to have their own fan system. With other facilities there, sites that don't have sewer, there is a dump station there on your way out, and since each site has its water, there's no water spigots throughout the park. So on facilities, I gave them a 7.5. I dropped them from an 8 to a 7.5 because of the lack of ventilation in the shower and bathroom area. Amenities. This is going to be a lot. They have a pool there. They have a bounce pad. There's playgrounds there. A rec field. River to play in. Bounce house. They have scheduled events. throughout the day. They have themed weekends. Wagon rides with Yogi Bear, Cindy Bear, and Boo Boo Bear. And there's a store that you can get your basic supplies at. I think there was an ice cream shop in the store. There's mini golf there. There's just a lot there. I'm probably missing some. I think there was a game room there also. But there's just so much where the kids left in the morning and they would come back at night exhausted, just what you want. 9.0 for amenities. That's the highest grade I've ever handed out. Staffing was great. Like I said, I met the owner after we got set up. He came around on his golf cart. Very attentive to things around the park he is. He stopped. He saw the kayak up on my truck. Said, hey, if you want to go kayaking, I know some good spots too. He met Jax, called Jax a well-mannered dog. And so we had no issues after that once he met Jax. Once everybody meets Jax, they know what he's like. So the staffing was just excellent there. They're very knowledgeable about things. They kept the grounds looking good. The bathrooms, with the amount of people there, they kept the bathrooms up. And they did a good job. So I do have to add one thing that was really what the park did that they didn't have to do, was because we were all traveling, our family meets there. We had one relatives that are there every year. They had a major health crisis the few days before, and they ended up in Syracuse Hospital, and they called to cancel their site, and the campground was very good with them, very sympathetic, gave them a refund, which they didn't have to do. I don't think they'd had to do that, but they were great on that aspect. And campgrounds only have a few months in the summertime, these northern campgrounds, to make their money. And I think they handled that situation very, very, very well. So I give them staffing an 8.5. Price point. Now, prices vary from cabin to park model, from RV site to RV site. We had water and electric at our site. It was $78 a night, which included tax and fees. But prices are generally higher for RV sites along the river or premium sites that have water, electric, and sewer. Like I said, our site was $78 a night. It was a nice site. Their check-in time is 3 o'clock, and I was like, well, that's kind of late in the day, but their checkout time is a very generous 1 p.m. So you don't have to leave. A lot of campgrounds, they want you out at 10 and don't want anyone checking in until 3 or 4 in the afternoon. This place is different. I like that policy very, very much. This is the first campground that I've seen that has a checkout at 1 p.m. So I do believe the price point is worth it, especially if you have kids. I gave them an 8.0 on price point. Incidentals. I had cell service the entire time there. I have Verizon. There are gas and groceries 2 miles down the road in Mexico. There is a Dunkin' Donuts there. There's a McDonald's there. There's a Tops food store there. There's gas stations there. So you're not that far away from supplies. You basically don't even have to leave that campground. If you have kids, you can go there for 3 or 4 days and you're not even going to have to leave the campground because your kids will be busy all day long. So great, so great. So this campground scored a total of 41 points. It's the highest I've ever handed out for an overall grade of 8.2. Yes, that is the new record for me. I have never handed out a grade this high, but they've earned it. I think it's a great place, and usually when we get together with family, we pick different campgrounds throughout the state, and we've already talking about going back to this one next year. So that is a review of the Jellystone Yogi Bear Park in Mexico, New York. They earned a 8.2 grade. All right, folks, you watched all the way through. Thanks for that. If you liked the video, make sure to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button down below. Continue to follow the adventure. And remember, folks, tomorrow is no guarantee for any one of us. So disconnect from that Wi-Fi back to this out here. You won't be disappointed.